It's Saturday, November 25th, 2023. A lot to talk about today. Before we do, please make sure to like this video, share this video, make sure you subscribe. Without further ado, let's get right into things today. Absolutely stunning day today, not a cloud in the sky. About 70 degrees, 68 degrees, 70 degrees about right now, this very, very late afternoon as I make this video. And earlier today, I was just reading some of the news, and I've come to the conclusion that people are setting themselves up for financial failure. And many people are really going to get what they deserve because they cannot control themselves. They are addicted to spending. They cannot stop spending, just like the US government, which cannot stop spending. The average American, the average consumer cannot stop spending. Newsweek.com today, Americans smash Thanksgiving spending record. We spoke about this yesterday. $5.6 billion was spent on Thanksgiving online shopping, signaling robust economic activity despite inflation concerns. Again, anybody telling you that the economy is booming is flat out lying to you at this point. To think that Americans spent $5.6 billion online for Thanksgiving shopping is unbelievable. Mobile sales accounted for $3.3 billion, or 59% of total online sales. Black Friday saw an estimated $9.6 billion in online sales. That was a 5.7% increase from last year. Now, I've got to ask all of you this, and please comment down below. Do you even believe these numbers? Is this data even true? Is it accurate? I don't even believe it, to be honest with you. And we'll talk about why I don't in just a little bit. Days ago, retailers were sharing their very, very conservative or concerning outlook on the holiday shopping season. Many retailers were forecasting a not so good year for holiday retail shopping, and yet now we're literally breaking records here. Everybody's out shopping. Now, Wall Street Journal today, this was very interesting. American borrowers are getting closer to maxing out. So when you think about maybe the number, maybe the data is true, but then you got to look at how are people spending. If this data is true, which I don't even believe it is true, but if it is, then we have to ask ourselves, where's the money coming from? Credit card utilization and delinquency rates are on the rise. Remember, 25% of people spending this holiday season haven't even paid off last holiday season debt. A happy holiday shopping season might not end up being especially a cheery time for lenders. Card loans are still growing on average, rising 1.6% in October over September across the big five U.S. banks. The article goes on to say card loans are still growing on average, rising 1.6% in October over September across five big U.S. banks. Card lenders versus a seasonally typically 0.7% increase. It goes on to say the trend suggests consumers still are willing and able to use their credit cards, portending well for retailers. But as far as people paying back those loans, the data is far less compelling. Think about how many people are going to continue to spend. They're gonna shop over the holidays. They're going to go out to eat. They're going to take a weekend vacation. They're going to buy Christmas gifts with no intention of ever paying the money back. You would think that the banks would start getting more concerned about what is happening. They have to realize what is going on here. The average rate of 30-day plus delinquencies across the five big lenders jumped 0.16% from September to October. That's above the typical 0.06%. Net charge-offs jumped 0.77% compared to 0.18%. People are consuming more than they have in available credit from month to month. They will hit the wall when those credit lines are exhausted. And those credit lines are being exhausted right now. And I think that many people predicted and forecasted that this, by the end of the year, the end of summer, right around end of summer, fall, people would be running out of money. And here we are right now, November, and people are exhausting those credit cards, exhausting those credit lines. Many people are maxed out and tapped out right now, but more are going to follow. Consumers with an annual household income of less than $50,000 whose accounts were delinquent were on average utilizing 80 to 90% of their available credit. This whole thing that we're watching with the holiday shopping is nothing more than smoke and mirrors. If people didn't have credit cards, they would not be able to do what they're doing right now. They would not be out buying like they're doing right now. This whole thing is being propped up with credit cards. I mean, think about how much of these holiday sales that is just being propped up with credit cards. How many people can really afford to go out? Is it 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10, 3 out of 10? How many people can really afford to go out and really shop over the holiday? This leaves consumers with a very small amount of credit left on these accounts to cushion against a deterioration of their financial situation. So what are people going to do as they've gone out and spent money on Thanksgiving? They're going out buying Christmas gifts, and they're going to be buying Christmas dinners, Christmas hams, Christmas turkeys. What happens when they've exhausted all of this credit and they have a financial situation, an emergency arise? What are people going to do? I don't think anybody really has the answer. These people are going to be in big trouble. These people are in big trouble right now. They have no intention of paying this back. They're going to ride this, right off the rails with no intent to paying this back, and they're going to party till the music comes to an end. Many people are going to be dealing with collectors. At the same time, these people are going to be dealing with paying their student loan back. The student loan repayments have resumed. And now they're going to have to deal with multiple credit cards, collectors, the repo man, you name it. What happens to people when the cards are maxed out? How many are going to find out here very, very soon, ladies and gentlemen? A lot. But think about people who have 5, 10, 15 credit cards. We're looking at an average now, average interest 22.08% on those cards. People have thousands, tens of thousands, $100,000 plus in credit card debt. They're never going to pay it back. Many of them will just default. It's going to destroy their credit. At the same time, they're going to have to resume or have resumed the repayment of their student loan debt. This is going to continue to spiral out of control. As food prices continue to get more expensive, the utilities get more expensive, insurance gets more expensive, life gets more expensive. Inflation is not going away anytime soon. But many are going to find out very, very soon that they're in very, very big trouble. And I hope they enjoyed the Black Friday sales. I hope they enjoy all the Christmas shopping and all the festivities. I hope they enjoy what is coming. And many of them, unfortunately, many are going to get what they deserve, because a lot of this could have been avoided if there was some control, if people were a little bit more mature with their spending and could restrain a little bit, but they can't. And this is why so many people are going to get themselves into trouble. And many of these people will be the people knocking at your door for help, for food, for protection, for a roof over their head, to feed their kids. The same people who are going to brag to you about what they bought for Christmas and how they celebrated Christmas and what they ate for Christmas. These people at some point are going to be coming to you for help. The hedge today, Black Flag Friday, could yesterday be a harbinger of a tapped out consumer. This on the hedge today. The bottom 50% of Americans, that's 132 million households representing 165.5 million of the 331 residents, owns a meager 2.3% of the nation's financial assets. Let me repeat this. The bottom 50% of Americans 132 million households, representing 165.5 million people of the 331 residents of America own a meager 2.3% of the nation's financial assets. There simply isn't much wealth for these people to tap into. So how are they out on Black Friday? How are they going to be out Christmas shopping? How are they out here spending all this money when there's nothing to tap into? Remember, it says here, remember all that revenge spending, all the vacations that people were going on, the greedflation. People have already blown that wad. It is gone. 80% of the country, and you could disagree, the official number that we see on the television is 62% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. You know that's completely false. You know it's closer to 80%. 80% of this country is living paycheck to paycheck. 36%, I Googled this today a couple hours ago, 36% of this country has zero savings. 19% have less than $1,000 saved up. Who in the world is going out and shopping? Where did this $5.6 billion come from? Well, if we are to believe the data, I think we know where it's all coming from. It's called credit cards. 589 million credit cards are floating around in the back pockets of Americans. CNBC, 1 in 3 Gen Z borrowers cannot afford to go home for the holidays because of student loan payments. Now, this is 68 million people who were born between 1997 and 2012, okay? Yes, some of them are much younger, but there's a high percentage of people 18 and older. It says here that the other 66% of the majority are taking on debt to get through the holiday. So 1 in 3, they ain't doing anything because they just can't afford it. But the other 66%, they're going to go deeper into debt so they can spend this Christmas, so they can go see family, friends, do whatever they have to do. But they're going to go deeper in debt to do it. So again, where is all the money coming from? How are they going to buy the tickets to get on an airplane, go see their family? How are they going to celebrate Christmas if they have no money? They're going to use credit cards. MSN.com. This another startling article today. You know, when you start reading this stuff, and this is all MSM, okay? It's all MSM. And I have to come to the realization and the belief that it's probably much worse than they're even telling us. That what I'm reading here today is not good news at all. But it's much worse than we're being told. Now, yes, that sounds like great news that everybody's out spending, they're spending billions of dollars on Black Friday and Thanksgiving. And well, Black Friday was over $9 billion. Thanksgiving was $5.6 billion. So, you know, people are just spending like crazy. That sounds fantastic, but at what cost? How much debt are they taking on? And how many of these people next year will not even have paid this debt off? Many. MSN.com. Chase Bank branches closing in 2023. Here's the full list. I'll make this short. Chase Bank this year will have closed 159 branches by the end of this year. 46 just in California. So I have to ask this to all of you. Why are we seeing not just Chase, but that's a lot of branches, 159 Chase branches closing down, 46 right here in California. But how come we're seeing so many banks across the country closing so many branches down? Why are they downsizing? What is going on? You'd have to think that if things were so incredible and booming and doing so well and everybody was out spending, we'd probably see more branches opening. If you know, small business was booming, the economy was booming, I would think that we would see more bank branches opening up, not closing down. Just my thought. But comment down below, why are we seeing all this shutting down? And comment down below, what do you think about the data right now with the billions and billions of dollars that are being spent on the holidays? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? Yes, look, maybe the data is correct, but then we have to ask ourselves, where's the money coming from? What's the cost of all this? How much debt are people taking on in order to celebrate the festivities, in order to buy Christmas gifts, Christmas dinners, the turkeys, the hams, the presents, the decorations, the trips, the traveling, all that? What price are people paying to do this? And how many people just plan to never pay it back? I mean, think about how people are exhausting right now. They're exhausting their credit cards and they're almost maxed out. They're almost tapped out at this point. And what if an emergency arises? 36% of this country has zero money saved up. Zero money saved up. We are not prepared for what is about to happen. I love everybody out there. I appreciate all of you watching, the thumbs up, even the thumbs down. The negative comments, I appreciate those too. The positive, the negative. You can't just have all positive comments, okay? Then you're living in a fake world. So I appreciate the negative ones, the good and the bad. But I mean, think about where all this goes and how much trouble that everybody's going to be in because of this debt. And you know, you may be debt free, you may live in a nice neighborhood and your life is perfect, but the country is bankrupt. Millions of people in this country are bankrupt. They don't even know it yet. Many people are going to go through some real challenges here. And so, you know, we have people that live in Mayberry and their life is perfect and think that nothing's going to happen to them because they live in Mayberry. It's going to affect everybody. Look at the crime. When people get hungry, they're coming to Mayberry. They're coming to your town. The country is almost $34 trillion in debt. That's going to affect Mayberry. Think about not just yourself, not just where you live, but think of the country as a whole and how it's going to affect everybody one way or another. Yes, it's going to affect some people much more than others, for sure. But there's no way everybody is not going to feel some amount of pain here with what's going on. And you know, somebody will write, oh, why do you care people running up the credit cards? What do you care what people are spending? You know why? Because guess who bails out the banks, ladies and gentlemen? You do and I do. Just like last time in 2008. Guess who bailed out the banks? We were on the hook, you know, for that disaster in housing, that real estate disaster. We bailed out the banks. Guess who bailed out the automakers? Well, we did, because the banks did. So guess who had to pay the banks? We did. Guess who pays the price? The people who go to work, pay their taxes, try to be responsible. You know, they tried to get you to pay everybody's college tuition back. They almost made that happen. So that's why I care, because when you have a country that's being reckless and irresponsible, even the good people pay a price. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, subscribe. Have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. Be careful out there. A lot of things are happening. Keep your head on a swivel. God bless every one of you. Talk to all of you very, very soon.